I now want to introduce you to one of our amazing CRAs, Elias. Elias, where are you at? Elias, as you'll hear, is an incredible person whose intelligence, attitude, and courage really has been incredibly inspirational to me and has done that thing of making me just a little bit of a better person. So I'm truly humbled to be here with you and to offer you the stage. Here you go.
Good evening, everyone. I have a lot of stories I could tell you about myself, but for tonight, I'm gonna try to stick just to one. The story of my journey from the streets to this stage. I grew up in Dorchester, right on Magnolia Street. Both of my parents struggled with addiction. They tried to steer me away from the streets, but I was rebellious. I got expelled for bringing weapons and selling fireworks in the 6th grade. I caught my first case when I was 13 for selling drugs. I was committed to DYS and I was in and out of juvie until I aged out at 18. That was a crazy age for me. I got out of juvie, my moms went to prison, and I had my first child. Responsibilities were piling up on me, and I went back in the same place again. So I kept hustling. I was arrested in 2001 for 3 guns and spent 3 years locked up. Jail was real hard for me, man. Real hard. Having to leave my family, a new baby, and having another one on the way was tough. In jail, you either isolate yourself or you're paranoid. Nothing's comfortable. I was released in 2004, only to get locked up again in 2009. This time with a 5-year sentence. Once again, leaving my family and kids. While I was incarcerated, I got some advice from some lifers and other prisoners. We seen you twice already, man. They told me. Are you gonna waste your second chance? That really stuck with me. Am I gonna waste my second chance? Am I gonna put myself in a place where I cannot provide my family and my kids? I knew how to do it different. First thing I did when I got home was look for work, but nobody wanted a full-time felon. I spent 6 months looking for work when Lou, someone I knew from the streets and prison, introduced me to College Bound. I started here in 2015 as a recruiter and worked my way up to a CRA. Recruiting was easy because I was in my element. I knew the streets. Being a CRA was different. It was intimidating. I was trusted to provide resources and information. Sometimes I didn't even have those same resources. But I was learning while I was teaching these guys. It was hard, but it felt good. Finally being able to give back and use my experience to guide and motivate others. All that was tested 2 years ago when I was shot doing this work. That day was my worst nightmare. It was like everything I worked so hard for to get away from had finally caught up to me. Despite all I've been through in my life, that moment really scared me. I really believed I was gonna die. I woke up in the hospital confused and in pain. First thing that came to my mind was that bullet meant for me, and what was the word on the streets? In that moment, I was this close to going back to the streets. I thought back to who I was. I thought about the guys I work with every day, my son, my grandkids, and I realized the shooter was someone's son, someone's grandkid, someone who looks like myself and had made a dumb mistake. I also thought back to the lifers who asked me, "Are you gonna waste your second chance?" That kept me from going back. That moment I realized I had been given so many chances, and now I had the opportunity to give someone else a chance, to give someone else forgiveness. Getting shot was the test I never knew I needed. And going back to the streets would have meant giving up on myself, and that would have meant giving up on my students. And I could never do that. I could never give up on the students like Irvin, who just needed that little push to get over the hump and reach his success. I had to continue doing this work to show them that you can change, that you can face your worst nightmare and come out the other side. Thank you all.